So I am Kate Franz Barina from the Group 4, and I will be talking about the American era. So in 1898, when the United States took control of the Philippines from Spain, they focused on improving education to win over the Filipinos. Education has been neglected under Spanish rule, so the US quickly set up the system that included free primary school and a training school for Filipino teachers. As outlined in Act Number 74, they taught in English, aiming to spread the language, promote democracy, and train Filipinos to be good citizens. By prioritizing education, they aimed to promote English language proficiency, which would unify the diverse population and facilitate smoother governance under American rule. Compulsory religious education was removed from the curriculum, and American teachers were brought in to help train local teachers. They continued adult education, which includes an open vocational school in the Mountain Province and Mindanao for non-Christian Filipinos, focusing on practical skills, health, and hygiene. Universities were also established to provide higher education to more people. So the next page is the American influences, which has a cultural and art. So American culture left a big mark on the Philippines, especially through English, and it became the main language in schools, business, and government, and making communication easier. Ideas like voting and fairness became important, changing how the country is run. Filipinos started celebrating American holidays like Thanksgiving and Halloween, and many even took on American-sounding names. Even today, English is widely spoken, and American traditions are still part of Filipino life, showing how these influences have stuck around. So, art. American influence in the Philippines during this period significantly transformed various aspects of society. Architectural development not only modernized urban landscapes but also symbolized a shift towards American cultural norms. The popularization of jazz, swing music, and dances introduced new forms of entertainment and social expression. Scientific advancement and industrial growth brought tangible improvements to healthcare, infrastructure, and economy, raising living standards and promoting economic development. The introduction of Protestantism alongside Catholicism diversified religious practices, while the empowerment of women through expanded rights and opportunities contributed to social progress and increased participation in public life. Overall, these changes reshaped Filipino society, reflecting the broader impact of American colonialism on Philippine culture, economy, and governance. And that's all. Thank you.
I'm the next reporter. Let's proceed to Philippine society and culture today. According to Rosales, Western colonization replaced the traditional society ruled by datos with political dynasties where 20% hold power and 80% are middle class or poor, further divided into poor, poorer, and poorest. Traces to patience and trade from early Chinese influence have diminished. Today's society often lacks discipline, is passive, heavily dependent on the government, and shows little initiative. A colonial mentality leads to a preference for imported products, damaging the local economy and indicating a lack of national pride. So, sa giingon ni Rosales kay, ang Western colonization kay naabot na sa point nga ilahan ng ibalhin sa mga traditional nga lipunan padong sa mga political dynasties. Then, ang resulta siya sa kanang pagkawadaan o disiplina nya kanang mga kuan sa gobyerno o ang ilahang kagustuhan sa mga imported nga products. Then ang next kay the kanya-kanya syndrome marked by selfishness and envy undermines cooperation and community service in Philippine society. Self-analysis and reflection are weak, leading to the trivialization of serious issues including political matters, materialism dominates, driving the pursuit of personal wealth and contributing to widespread graft and corruption. Public service has largely become insincere, with many officials prioritizing personal gain over genuine service, contrary to their pledges of loyalty and honesty. So, ang kanya-kanya syndrome in the Philippines kay kanang naglalarawan siya kanang makasarili bitaw niya kanang mga suya ingon ana in ang kanya-kanya syndrome sa Philippines kay makaguba sa diya sa mga kanang mga kooperasyon, mga serbisyo sa kanang sa community nya. Naabot sa point ang tribalization kay mga issue sa materialismo at kanang dili bitaw sakto ang ilang pag-service sa kanang mga sa mga trabahante or sa kanang mga publiko. Yan ang last kaya the Philippine 2000 vision aim for transformation, but today poverty persists. Discipline is lacking and officials prioritize personal gain over public service. Political greed exacerbates societal decay, reflecting a shift towards materialism and moral decline. So there is a last part kay ang Philippine 2000 vision kay naglalayon siya sa kanang pagbag-o dayon na siya kanang murag way nga kanang magbag-o pero nagyapon ang point nga kanang nagpadayon gihapon ang kanang ilang pagkalisod yung nana dayon kuwang sa disiplina ya mas unahon pa ang mga official, mga personnel dayon mas nagrabe pa ang kanang issue sa kaninga kuan sa Philippines. Marta ka, thank you.
Language and culture. In Republic Act 7356, the roles of language and the promotion and development of Philippines culture and the arts is emphasized, and the provision of the National Committee on Language and Translation. This committee is tasked, among others, to prepare the National Translation Program for notable works by Filipino authors, including world classes, into the national language Filipino and in other major language in the Filipino. And Republic Act 735 is the law aims to promote and preserve Filipino culture and arts. It emphasizes the importance of culture education, artistic creation, and the protection for the intellectual and artistic right. And the language is intrinsic to the expression for culture as the means of communicating value, beliefs, and custom. It was an important social function and foster feelings of group identity and solidarity. It is the means by which culture and its tradition and shared value may be conserved and preserved. The concept culture was cited in Republic Act 7356, which was being translated in Filipino by the Committee on Language and Translation was five characteristics that constitute its principles. First is culture is a right. The law declared that culture is freedom of beliefs and expression, and it is a human right that we individuals should respect differently culture and allow it to flourish. And second is culture is expresses the national identity. Culture reflects the shape, value, belief, and aspiration, thereby defining of people national identity. A Filipino national culture that minor and shapes Philippines social, economic, and political life should be conserved, involved, and promoted. And the third is culture is independent, dynamic, progressive, and pro-people. Independent is a free of political and economic structure which inhabit social sovereignty. And dynamic is continually development and a pace with scientific, technological, social, economic, and political changes and nationally and internationally levels. And progressive is development that raise potential of the all Filipino and responsible change agent of society. And the pro-people is ensuring the freedom and gravity and the pro-people ensure the freedom and gravity of the human spiritual and imagination. And fourth is culture is for the people and therefore the nationally cultural policies and programs to be formulated are pluralistic, democratic, free, and liberative. Pluralistic is portraying the respect for the cultural identity of each locality, as well as elements assimilated from other culture through the natural process of acculturation. And democratic is encouraging and supporting the participation of the best masses of the Filipino people and its programs and projects. And free is open to all people and institutions regardless of the creed, affiliation, dialogue, ethnic origin, age, gender, or class, with no organized group or sector having monopoly of each service. And liberty is having concern for the colonization and emancipation of the Filipino basics in order to ensure the full flowering of Filipino culture. And the fifth is that culture is for the people. It is the duty of every citizen to preserve and conserve the Filipino culture, heritage, and resources the retrieval and conservation of artifact of the Filipino culture and history shall be rigorously preserved.
Let me introduce myself for formality. So again, I am Kate Franz Barina from the Group 4, and now I'll be talking about Section 7 of Republic Act 7356. So, Republic Act 7356 stresses that Filipino citizens should protect the country's history, culture, and traditions. It follows a model that sees culture in three parts: things people make, like buildings and art, organized parts of society, like schools and families, and the beliefs and values people share. This law wants to make sure Filipinos understand and appreciate their culture and work together to keep it safe for the future. So this is the three main elements of Section 7 of Republic Act 7356. So the first one is the ideas, beliefs, attitudes of the people as national community, which include their scientific knowledge and beliefs, their religious beliefs, their myths, legends, folks, literatures, superstitions, riddles, proverbs and sayings, literature, philosophy, and such other. So this element collectively shape the identity and values of a society, guiding interpersonal interactions, decision making, and creative expressions. They play a vital role in shaping the worldview, behavior, and social cohesion of a community, while also influencing its artistic and intellectual pursuits. So the second, their norms or way of doing, which include those as described by Constitution, laws, rules and regulations, credo, customs, habits, rituals, ceremonies, and modes. So these norms tell people how to interact with each other and with institutions, keeping society organized and united. They're like a guide for how things should be done, making sure everyone understands what's expected and how to act in different situations. So third, the material or natural resources they have, which include natural resources like flora and fauna, materials, wealth, infrastructures, technology, artifacts, works of art, and the like. The linguistic resources of the Philippines are a rich treasure house that harks back to at least 500,000 BC towards the Islamic beginnings in the 12th century. The Hispanic in elements of 300 years, the Revolutionary, the American era, the Commonwealth period, and from 1896, the beginning of a globalizing republic. Philippine is a culture, humanizing culture, and a culture of generally being for others, such as indicated in terms like kapwa-tao or fellow human being, tao po or introducing oneself in another house, tao ko, which is may human being, husband as the wife calls him, or in the saying madaling maging tao, mahirap magpakatao. It is easy to become a person and it is difficult to become a human being. So the Philippines is blessed with abundant natural resources like plants, animals, and valuable materials, alongside essential infrastructure, technology, and significant cultural artifacts. Linguistically, its heritage stretches back thousands of years, influenced by Islamic, Hispanic, Revolutionary, American, and contemporary global eras. Philippine culture is deeply rooted in empathy and interconnectedness, as seen in expression like kapwa-tao and tao po. The saying madaling maging tao, mahirap mapakatao reflects the challenge of embodying through humanity amid life's complexities. This rich cultural blend defines the Filipino identity, fostering compassion, community, and ethical responsibility. And that's all, guys. Thank you.
The Filipino-American relations. The Filipino-American relations began in 1898 when the United States declared war against Spain. The immediate cause was the explosion of the USS Maine in Havana Harbor. The war lasted less than 4 months, resulting in Spain's defeat. In the Treaty of Paris, Spain renounced claim to Cuba, ceded Guam and Puerto Rico to the United States, and transferred sovereignty over Philippines worth $20 million. So, before ang Pilipinas ug ang Amerika or United States, dapat sila lain-lain ng history. Pagka 1898, ang Pilipinas ug Amerika nagka-unite, hantod ang Pilipinas kay nahimong malayang bansa pagka 1946. Nga sukad ang kaning duha ka bansa kay nagtinabangay sa ekonomiya, political, culture ug seguridad. Ang Amerika mo'y unang kaalyado sa Pilipinas sa Asia. Nya ang aim ani nila kay magtinabagay ni sila sa panahon nga nay may tabo. Nya ang taga-Amerika naka-come up nga ilang kontrahon ang Spain, di nahitabo ang war nga niabot og less than 4 months. Nilang napildi ang Spain. Pagkapildi sa Spain, sa Treaty of Paris, gi-announce nila sa lugar nga Cuba, Guam, and Puerto Rico na i-transfer ang power over $20 million sa Philippines. The start of Filipino-American relations. Emilio Aguinaldo was not in the Philippines during the outbreak of American-Spanish War, as he was exiled to Hong Kong under the Biak na Bato Agreement signed on December 14, 1897. This fact temporarily halted the armed conflict between Filipinos and Spaniards. While in exile, Aguinaldo had meetings with American diplomats in Singapore, raising questions about his presence there instead of in Hong Kong. Understanding the fact of Biak na Bato is crucial to grasp Aguinaldo's circumstances. So, wala si Emilio Aguinaldo sa Pilipinas sa time na nag-start ang Filipino-Spanish relation tungod kay nagtago-tago siya sa Hong Kong tungod sa kasabutan sa Biak na Bato nga gipirmahan pagka December 14, 1897. Sa ilang kasabutan kay temporary nga napahunong sa mga armadong pag-away sa mga Pilipino og mga Kastila. While nagtago-tago si Aguinaldo, nakikita sa mga Amerikanong diplomat sa Singapore. Nangutana siya imbis sa Hong Kong unta to dapat mangutana. Pero pagsabot sa tratado sa Biak na Bato, importante aron masabtan ang sitwasyon ni Aguinaldo.
So, hello everyone. Before we continue our discussion about the American era, let me introduce myself first. I'm Lerayan Torres, and I'll be tackling about the Pact of Biak na Bato. The Pact of Biak na Bato aimed to end hostilities between Filipino revolutionaries and the Spanish. So, ang aim day sa Biak na Bato kay nag-aim sila nga ma-end ang conflict between Filipino revolutionaries ug sa Spanish. So wala sa waday nakabalo ang mga Filipino revolutionaries, mao ning mga tao nga like mga patriots, mga protest, mga nag-organize protest ba nga mo participate or mo advocate for a revolution. So mao na to, continue ta. It stipulated an indemnity of 800,000, half of which Aguinaldo took when he left for Hong Kong. So ang damage din na cost day kay 800,000, and half ana kay gikuha ni Aguinaldo when he left for Hong Kong. So upon his departure, revolutionaries demanded the remaining 400,000, accusing Aguinaldo of desertion. So maoto paglakaw ni Aguinaldo kay ang mga revolutionaries kay nagdemand og 400,000 og gi-accuse nila si Aguinaldo nga nilakaw ra nga why permission ba minana ba. So the Spanish, seizing the chance to sow discord, paid 200,000 to further incite revolutionaries against Aguinaldo. So maoto ang Spanish kay nakita sila chance nga mo kuan ba para mag-away mawagtang ang trust nila ni Aguinaldo, ma-distrust sila ni Aguinaldo, ilang gibayarag 200,000 to kuan para against ni Aguinaldo. Then unsatisfied revolutionaries presented in pursuing a share of the money given to Aguinaldo. So mao to, dili satisfy ang mga revolutionaries, mao to ilang gi-pursue nga mahatagan sila share sa money nga gihatag ni Aguinaldo. So mo continue rata. So hello everyone, continue ta sa atong discussion. In the lead up to the Philippines revolution against Spanish rule, exiled Filipino leader Emilio Aguinaldo connected with U.S. Consul Edward Spencer Pratt in Hong Kong. So, di ba si Emilio Aguinaldo kay ni went mo tog Hong Kong. So, pag-adto niya Hong Kong kay nag-seek siya og help, then dire na ni sod si Edward Spencer Pratt. So, paghuman na to kay Aguinaldo efforts impress Pratt, who arranged for his return to the Philippines with Commodore George Dewey's American Squadron. So sa effort ni Aguinaldo kay na-impress si Pratt, mao tong tabangan siya nga makabalik sa Philippines o kuyugan siya ni Commodore George Dewey's. Kani George Dewey's kay kani usa ni siya ka American nga soldier og nagdasad siya ganang mga squad. So Aguinaldo provided funds for arms purchases but the deliveries were unsuccessful. So Aguinaldo daw kay i-providean og mga arms pero ang deliveries kay dili success ba. So Dewey's surprise attack on the Spanish fleet in May 1898 marked a significant victory, prompting the Spaniards to seek Filipino support, which was largely interested due to their desire for independence. So mao to, si Dewey's kay nag-set og mas surprise attack sa Spanish fleet on May 1898. Mao to nga nadaog sila na kamta nila ang victory. So ang mga Spaniards kay nagsik sila support sa Pilipino ba, pero ang mga Pinoy kay dili sa interested kay namsad sila desire sa ila ba nga mag-independence sila. So despite Spanish attempts at reform, the Filipinos remained steadfast in their pursuit of freedom. So mao to, wala na convince sa Spanish ang mga Pinoy. So ang mga Pinoy kay nag-remain gapon nga ilang i-pursue ang freedom. So mao ra to sa akong topic day guys. Salamat.
So in continuation for our report, so I will tackle about America's true intention, the Filipino struggle for recognition. So Aguinaldo returned to the Philippines on May 19, 1898 and met with Admiral Dewey, who was pleased to see him. So ang kani si Aguinaldo gikan siya sa Hong Kong, and then ni return siya sa Philippines on May 19, 1898. So diri sa Philippines na meet niya si Admiral Dewey or si George Dewey. So kani si George Dewey kay usa ni siya ka kanang officer sa United States Navy. So both recognize the mutual benefit of cooperation. Dewey sought the Filipino assistance against the Spaniards, while Aguinaldo needed American support to achieve Philippine independence. So kaning silang duha, si Aguinaldo ug si Admiral Dewey kay ang kanang nani sila kanang gisik nga kanang murag ali bitaw kanang para mag kanang kauban sila kay naman sila is tagsa-tagsa nga goal. So kani si Dewey ang iyang goal kay mangayo siya assistance or support gikan sa mga Filipino through ni Emilio Aguinaldo para sa kanang ilahang battle against Spaniards. And then kani si Aguinaldo sad kay ang iyasang goal or iyasang nagsik po ni siya og kanang help or support gikan sa mga Amerikano para ma-achieve nila ang ilahang ma-achieve sa Philippines ang Philippine independence. So their meeting signaled a strategic alliance for achieving their respective goals. So kani ilahang meeting kay mao ni siya ang murag strategy nila bang alliance for para ma-achieve ang kada goal sa usag-usa. Aguinaldo urged the Filipino people to join forces with the Americans in battling the Spaniards. So, gi-urge ni Aguinaldo ang mga Filipino to join forces with the Americans. So, yang hinihikayat niya ang Filipino para mag-join sila og kanang or matabang sila sa Americans against kanang sa ilang battle against Spaniards. And then the victory at the Battle of Alapang in Cavite boosted Filipino morale, leading them to fight fiercely. So sa kaning ilang Battle of Alapang in Cavite, so nadaog sila ani. So tungod ani murag na encourage ang mga Filipino or nga mo fight sila kanang with all their might, with all their strength, or kanang against sa mga Spaniards. So the revolutionaries laid siege to Manila, confining the Spaniards within this wall. So kani siya kay kaning mga revolutionaries nga sila kaning mga revolutionaries led by Aguinaldo kay ilahang gi siege ang mga kanang Spaniards. So meaning ani niya kay murag gipalibutan nila ba diri sa Manila nya gi-confine nila, which means kanang dili na nila murag ila nang gi-koral na nila or dili na nila murag kaning way kay para butang musuko ang mga Spaniards against nila. So next, Aguinaldo offered Governor General Basilio Agustin a terms for a surrender, which Agustin declined. So kani siya gi-ofera ni Aguinaldo si Governor General Basilio Agustin og term para pasurrendero na lang sila. So kani day si Governor General Basilio Agustin kay usa ni siya ka Spanish mo nag-lead sa kanang battle bitaw or nag-lead sa kanang during the Spanish rule diri sa Pilipinas. So since kanang pildi naman sila gi-offeran siya ni Aguinaldo nga mo surrender na lang sad kay obvious naman nga mapildi sila. So, pero gi-decline ni Agustin kay nag-expect man siya og reinforcements from Spain na kanina diri expecting reinforcements from Spain that never arrived. So yang expect nga reinforcement wala man sad naabot. And then meanwhile, England, Germany, France, and Japan sent fleets to protect their interests in the Philippines. So kaning mga countries like England, Germany, France, and Japan nag-send sila og mga armada para maprotektahan nila ang Philippines kay naman sa sila interest ani sa Philippines. So among them, Germany, particularly Admiral von Dietrich, sought to embarrass Dewey by supplying provisions to the besieged city of Manila. So ang kanina ay si Admiral von Dietrich kay usa sa ni siya ka German nga kanang officer nya ihanggi nangita siya way para ma-embarrass bitaw si Dewey. So si Dewey mo sa ni ang kanang American nga officer nga nag-lead sa ilaha. And then ang iyang way nagihimo ni Admiral von Dietrich kay siya ang nag-supply siya og mga provision to the besieged city. So kaning besieged city mao ni siya ang city bitaw nga gipalibutan sa mga kontra. So since gipalibutan man sila, gikuan sila supply sa pagkaon nya dili na sila kagawas nya which led them to kanang surrender na lang ba sa kontra. So ang gibuhat ni Admiral Von kay nag-supply siya og mga provision sa katong mga besieged city. So since di naman to sila kagawas or wala na sila supply, gitagaan niya or gi-supplyan ni Admiral Von der Rich og mga pagkaon to embarrass ng para ma-embarrass lang si Kuan Dewey. And then so let's proceed to the next. So, Treaty of Paris. So, on December 10, 1898, the fate of the Philippines as a colony of the United States for the next almost 5 decades has been sealed through the Treaty of Paris. So, signed between the United States and Spain without the participation of a single Filipino. So, ang kaning Treaty of Paris di ay mao din siya ang kanang kasunduan bitaw sa between American o kanang Spaniards. So nagkasundo sila nga ang Philippines nga colony kay ang ang Philippines as a colony kay ihatag nagikan sa or ipasa nagikan sa kanang Spaniards padung sa ay ngadto sa United States or sa Americans. So ang kani siya kay sign ni siya sa duha ra gihapon nga country involved. So silang duha American ug ang Spaniards. So sila ra ang nag-sign, walay labot ang Pilipino. And then Felipe Agoncillo Aguinaldo's emissary was denied participation in the discussion of treaty which concerned the Philippines. So ang kaning silang Felipe Agoncillo Aguinaldo nani sila'y mission nga mo appeal sa or mo participate sa discussion sa treaty nga maragi padala sila ba as a mission nga ma-appeal sila sa treaty pero gidenied ilang participation which kanang na concern ang mga Filipino or ang kuan sa Philippines sa mga tao. So the Treaty of Paris was to be voted on February 6, 1898. So ang pag-vote sa Treaty of Paris kay nahitabo siya during February 6, 1898. A 2/3 of majority vote was noted to ratify the treaty. This the Republican would not be able to contain. So since 2/3 majority man ang nag-vote sa kanang treaty para ma-approve siya. So ang mga Republican nga mag-approve sa kanang treaty, wala na sila mabuhat kay since majority naman ang na-note nila. However, William Jennings Bryan defeated Democratic candidate for the presidency in 1896 made a turnabout. So kani si William Jennings Bryan kay usa ni siya ka kanang Bryan Rod YT usa ni siya ka kanang politician as well as lawyer nga nidagan pagka presidente niya nga nadipit ni ang Democratic candidate for the presidency. So which made several changes sa ilaha. Then he urged his colleagues to vote for the treaty. So kanisad siya iyang gi-urge or hinihikayat basta kay gi-urge niya ang kanang iyang colleagues para mubutar pud sa treaty as an act resented by his so tungod sad ana kay gi-resent pud siya sa iyang mga naglagot iyang mga kauban sad. However, this decision of Bryan contributed to the increased number of those. Pero ang kaning nga decision niya kay naka-contribute hinuon siya, murag na-increase hinuon tungod ani ang vote for the treaty or for approving the treaty. So further, the swaying of sentiments was brought about by the break of the hostilities between the Filipinos and the Americans on February 4, 1898. So kaning February 4, 1898 kay diri ang kanang murag ni tungod sa kanawitong conflicts between Filipino and Americans kay murag ang mga opinions ug mga kanang mga pananaw bitaw sa Filipinos or sa kanang Americans kay murag na sway or na change pud siya ba.